We're starting a little early because, as you can tell, there's a lot to get through and we want to have as much time as possible for the responses from our judicial candidates. My name's Sharon Lynn. I'm the president of the League of Women Voters of Seminole County. And before we do anything else, I'd like you to join me by standing up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the interest of time, can I just see a show of hands of how many of you are guests and not members of the league? Okay, very nice. Thank you so much for attending. Do we have any new members? Okay, if I haven't met you before, please come up and introduce yourselves after this. Also, are there any, aside from the people at the front table, are there any elected officials in the room? I see no hands, but I'm blinded by the light. Do we have any candidates for office other than the judicial candidates? Okay, would you stand up and introduce yourselves?
I'm Jerry Wright, Seminole County School Board District 4 candidate.
Thank you, Jerry.
Brendan Ramirez, proud Democrat for House District 3.
Okay, thank you, Brendan. Anybody else? All right. What? I'm sorry. Okay, Winter Springs City Commission. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I would like to start by thanking our voter services team because we've got so many forums planned during this election season, and a lot of work goes into getting ready for any of these. So thank you very much, voter services team. Could you raise your hand so everybody can see our hardworking team? Okay, next, you will notice, I hope, that there are index cards on, there should be index cards and pencils on every table. That is so you can write any questions for the candidates on the card, and we have somebody who will be collecting them if we could get, right. Okay, the lady who just raised her hand will be coming around collecting questions. Wave your hand in the air if you have something that you want her to pick up. You have no index cards?
They don't have no cards.
Well, I think we have plenty of index cards, so let's see if we can. They're coming. All right. Yes. Okay, yes, we do have an elected official who just arrived. Tina Calderon from the school board, welcome. Okay, next. Everybody has the index card thing down, I hope. Where's Hillard?
Right here.
Hillard is selling 50-50 tickets. So if anybody is interested in trying to win a little money in this record-breaking crowd, see Hillard. And I do want to mention that, to my knowledge, this is the largest attended Hot Topics we've had probably in our history. So thank you very much for showing up. I don't know about you, but until I joined the league, sometimes when I looked at the judicial races, I was at a complete loss because there are so many things they can't say. So, you know, it's almost like voting blind. So this is an opportunity for all of us to take our own measure of the candidates, and I'm just so grateful to all of you for taking time out to attend because I know you're all very busy. We're very fortunate today to have Sylvia McLean as our moderator. She graduated from Florida International University and then Nova University Law School. She's the Executive Director and Staff Attorney for the Seminole County Bar Association Legal Aid Society, an organization with numerous awards and honors. And just to get on with things, she's agreed to let me keep her introduction brief. So here's Sylvia McLean.
I also want to welcome everyone here who's taken their time to get informed regarding the two elections that will take place on August 28th. And I want to thank the candidates again for being here to inform you of their qualifications and their views. And thank you, League of Women Voter, for putting on this event. There's two positions open in Seminole County, in Circuit Court and in County Court. The first is Circuit Court Group 24, and I would like to introduce incumbent Judge Soto and candidate Adam Polak, and they will be involved in the race for Group 24. So let me tell you a little bit about what the Circuit Court duties are, which is different than the other race, which is county judge. The Circuit Court judges hear felonies, which are crimes, family law, which is paternity, divorce, custody, time sharing, civil cases over 15,000, probate, guardianship, mental health, juvenile dependencies and delinquencies, and the delinquencies are alleged crimes against juveniles, and appeals from county court. It's a 6-year term, and the salary is approximately $160,000 a year. And the voters are in Seminole and Brevard because it is a circuit court. It's for the 18th Judicial, which composed of Seminole and Brevard. So both voters in Seminole and Brevard will be making the decisions. Then we have Group 2, and Group 2 is for county judge. And the candidates today is incumbent Judge Kraus, candidate Wayne Culver, and candidate Cameron Shackelford. Thank you for coming. Now, the county judge is also a 6-year term, and their salary is approximately $151,000. They hear misdemeanors, which are crimes, small claims, small claim court actions of up to $5,000, and that's people's court. So most of the individuals that attend do not have an attorney. Then civil cases up and including $15,000, and they also have the power to review traffic. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay, and the voters are only Seminole. So the circuit is Brevard and Seminole voters, and county is only Seminole County voters. So let me explain the format for today. It's very structured. The committee did a wonderful job in setting it up. It's 4 parts. The first part will be a 2-minute introduction for each candidate. The second part will be 90 seconds, and it's timed. Who's taking time? So the candidates are going to be looking at them. They have 90 seconds to answer questions derived from written responses that were submitted to them. They submitted 5 questions, and then the league members reviewed the answers to the 5 questions and came up with 2 questions for each candidate. So it was the league members that prepared these questions. After that, and each candidate will answer 2 questions. Then will come a 10-minute for Facebook and audience questions. And that's why you have your index cards. But it's extremely important to know this when you're developing your question. It is true that the judicial candidates are not like other elections. They are bound by the Florida judicial canons of conduct, which state they're prohibited from making statements regarding cases, controversies, or issues likely to come before the court. So you have to be aware of that when you're submitting a question. It is the duty of the judge to uphold the law regardless of personal views. And then we'll have our fourth part, which is a 2-minute closing remark. So I know everyone's anxious, so let's get started. So we're going to start with questions to Judge Soto. Oh, introductions. I'm sorry. I'm already waiting for their answer. Yeah, we'll start with Judge Soto anyway.
We have another candidate in the room.
There's two candidates. Two.
Oh, I'm not aware of another candidate.
No, they're here. One is over here. And introduce yourself.
Okay.
My name is Mario J. Hicks. I'm running for Sanford City Commissioner, District 2.
Oh, good luck.
You ready? Yes. Sylvia, when you're not using it, turn it off.
Another candidate.
I don't have that same problem.
No.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, I think we're at the afternoon mark, so I'll wish you all a good afternoon. Okay, my name is Melissa Soto. I'm one of your circuit judges here in Seminole County. I serve Seminole and Brevard County, as Ms. McLean had told you about.
I can't hear
Any
you.
people
Can't
don't-
hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Better? Okay. So many people don't know about me that my grandparents and my parents fled here from Cuba to escape communism back in the 60s. And they wanted to live in a free society where everyone is bound by the law. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Have to practically have it right here. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So anyway, education was important to my family because having had their business and belongings confiscated, they had always told me that an education was something that no government or person could ever take away from you. So to that end, I attended the University of Central Florida and Florida State University College of Law on scholarships. After I graduated from the Florida State University College of Law, I worked at the Seminole County State Attorney's Office, and I prosecuted virtually every type of case there, including career criminal cases and also 1020 life cases. After I finished my term over at the Seminole County State Attorney's Office, I moved over into private practice, and I focused primarily on family law, so child custody, divorce, and injunctions and things like that, and also criminal defense. Before I was appointed as a circuit judge in 2015, I was the general counsel for Seminole County Sheriff Don Esslinger, and I also worked with then Chief Deputy Dennis Lima at the time. And at that office, I was responsible for handling civil litigation, both plaintiff side and defendant side, and defending the sheriff. I also handled employee discipline. I wrote policy and training, and I assisted in criminal investigations and any other legal or legislative matters that were brought before any of the departments in that organization. As a circuit judge, my first division was the juvenile delinquency, dependency, probate, and guardianship and mental health. I was the administrative judge there, and I'm currently assigned to the criminal division, where I preside over felony cases involving adults.
Thank you, Judge Soto. Now we go to candidate Adam Polk.
Good afternoon. As a fellow league member, it is great to be back with you. My name is Adam Pollock, and I am a candidate for Circuit Judge Group 24. I have prepared to be a judge for many years. After consulting with my wife of 18 years, Jacqueline, who is here today, I decided that it wasn't fair for the voters to be forced to accept a judge who has been appointed and not elected by the people. I believe voters should be able to exercise their fundamental right to vote for their elected officials. Over my entire 20 years plus legal career, I have been dedicated to pursuing justice. After trying over 75 jury trials, I have earned the right to belong to an elite group of 431 attorneys in the entire state of Florida who are board certified in criminal trials. I believe trial judges should know how to try cases and not learn how to try them as a judge. In order to deliver justice, protect the Constitution, and ensure everybody's constitutional rights, a judge must be free from the influence and bias. I made a decision to self-fund my campaign because I did not want any person who appeared before me to ever wonder if their judge has been influenced by the people who gave or didn't give to their election campaign. The removal of money from the process allows for me to focus on the people who are hiring me to do this important job, you, the voters. For the past 20 years, I have practiced law in the 18th Circuit. I have owned my own business. I know how to manage a successful business and how to effectively and respectfully deal with people. As a result, I have received the endorsement of highly respected retired Judge O.H. Eaton Jr. His recognition of my qualifications is a great honor. A judge must be a good listener and have a good demeanor that instills respect in their courtroom. People want to know that their judge can be relied upon to be fair and faithful to the law. I will endeavor to be all of these. On or before August 28th, the people of Seminole and Brevard counties will have an opportunity to exercise their fundamental constitutional right to vote. My name is Adam Pollock, and I want to earn your vote to be your next circuit judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to let the county judge candidates introduce themselves, and we're going to get started with Judge Krause.
All right. Oh, good. I don't have the same soft voice. All right. Most of you do know, my name is Deborah Krause. I am the current county court judge. And I will acknowledge that, as probably most of you here today will acknowledge, that I'm not perfect. I will also admit that I have made mistakes in past campaigns. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of that as well. However, I believe I've done a really good job as a county court judge, and I'd love to continue to be your county court judge. I have been in office for 5.5 years now. I was elected to the bench. I've spent 5 years in criminal, and I'm currently in civil. And while I'm in civil, I'm currently handling all the small claims cases and other civil cases, including evictions, which we have a lot of them here in Seminole County, unfortunately. While I was on the criminal bench for 5 years, I probably was appealed many times. We don't know exactly how many times we are appealed. We only know the outcome of those appeals. I was only reversed and remanded twice. One of that was on an appellate court case. It was procedural. It had to do with review. And the other time was on a judgment of acquittal issue, which means the state failed to prove their case prior to resting their case at trial. So those are the only 2 times I was ever appealed and reversed and remanded. I think, I've done a good job for the citizens. I've spent a lot of time trying to make the court more effective, both in criminal and civil. I've implemented and I've proposed different changes to make the court more effective and efficient. And some of those have taken place, some of those have occurred. Others are still just proposals, and they are sitting with the chief judge. So I believe that not only am I a good candidate and qualified individual, I believe I have done and will continue to do a great job as a county court judge.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from Cameron Shackelford.
Good afternoon. My name is Cameron Shackelford, and I'm a local boy. Grew up here in Orange County, a proud product of the Orange County school system. I went to St. Andrew's Catholic School out in Pine Hills, if anyone remembers that school, and to Glenridge Junior High, Winter Park High School. Followed that on with an undergraduate degree at Rollins College. After attending Rollins, getting a science degree, I obtained a commission in the Air Force, and then spent a 20-year career in space and flight operations, including time spent in the Persian Gulf, leading crews flying missions in the Persian Gulf area. After my Air Force career, I got my law degree at a small school up in New Jersey called Rutgers University. Then I came home and married my high school sweetheart. And for the past 15 years, I've been practicing law in the local area with an emphasis on aviation law. So it's been an interesting life. I feel like I've been given a lot of opportunities, and I see this judicial race as an opportunity for me to pay the citizens a dividend on the investment they made in me all these years. And I would appreciate your vote on August 28th. Thank you.
Our last candidate for County Court Judge, Wayne Cole.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Wayne Culver. I'm a 4th generation Floridian. I went to Eastbrook Elementary School, Tuscarora Middle School, and Lake Howell High School, and graduated from UCF, and then went to Boston to go to Suffolk University Law School in Boston, and practiced real estate for about a year before I came back here. 4 New England winters was enough for this Florida boy. And started at the state attorney's office. I worked for Norm Wolfinger in Titusville for 3.5 years. I tried just about every type of case except for capital murder, but attempted murder cases, all kinds of batteries, all kinds of gun crimes. And then I went into my own practice in Oviedo, and I was there for about 5 years, and I handled bankruptcy, family law, real estate, dependency, criminal, and many other types of cases. And I had secretaries and partners, and we always made payroll, and we always contributed to our community. I did dependency work while I was there, so I did a lot of family law that was appointed, and of course I took appointed cases. And after 5 years, I met my beautiful wife and decided that it'd be best for me to go and work at the public defender's office. Very often I would take cases for next to nothing, and won a few of them. I was very happy to do that for my clients, but I realized I was better at just being an attorney than running an office. I didn't like turning people away. So I've been at the public defender's office for 9 years now. I have also been in management there and then supervised the misdemeanor department for 2 years before I got back on a docket, because I just love trying cases. And while I've been there, I've tried every type of case that there is to try, up until capital murder cases as well. And I just want to continue serving you, and that's why I'm running for a county court judge, because I believe my experience, and I've been doing this for about 17 years, and I think I'd like to continue to work for you and do the best I can for my home. Thank you.
Now we'll go to the questions. And we're going to start with Judge Soto. And this is the question. Every decision should be based solely on the law and not one's emotion.